on this computer. Perfect. Thank you guys. All right. Thanks everyone for being patient with me while I figured out the live in the Facebook group. But I have to tell you, I'm so excited to share with you today Gayle Fitzmaurice, who is the creator of the Get Listings Bootcamp. And so Gayle and I have had quite a few conversations, and really what she is doing is teaching agents how to get at least 4 listings a month. And so I thought that is super valuable information. So she's going to share just a little bit here with us today and kind of give you a sneak peek of what she does in her boot camp. So Gayle, without any further ado, I'm going to turn the call over to you, and I'm going to turn host over to you in case you need anything else. I think I'm going to turn host over to you.
Okay.
So Gayle, go ahead. I'll figure out the host while we're doing this.
Okay, so am I actually hosted? Can we see that? I can hang on a second while we're working it out.
Well, you do have ability to share the screen, so that is all good. Participants, and
oh yeah, you got to go to participants to make host. Yes,
and you are the host now.
I am the host. Okay, perfect. Let's have a look here. So I can't see anything. So is my screen the main view?
It is on mine. And since yes, it is actually, because I'm recording on my computer, you show up as the main view.
All right. Okay, we are going to get into this. Okay, you guys, so for today, I actually was going to specifically focus on direct mailing and getting 20 to 50 seller leads a month from direct mail. So let's actually just get straight into it. So in today's show, we are going to talk about how to get a minimum of 20 to 50 genuine seller leads a month with direct mail. Okay, the consistency of return from this prospecting activity is the reason why I have engaged this prospecting activity literally the longest in my own real estate business. And in my own real estate business, I have been consistently listing and selling 50 properties each and every year for well over a decade now. So also in today's show, I will share with you an email that I received from Judy Sloan. She's a real estate agent based in Iowa, and she's been in the real estate industry for around 30 years. In her email, which she shared with me, she in fact receives an even greater return from her monthly direct mail prospecting than my own 20 to 50 genuine seller leads a month that I get from my direct mail prospecting work, okay? So direct mail is a prospecting activity you can engage long-term, and it will consistently return you genuine seller leads. It is old school, it is steady, but it is a converting sales tactic. It works, okay? We'll look at why it works and how to make sure that you get the same return from your own real estate business. All right, stay with me until the end of today's show, where I will direct you, or Debbie will direct you, as to where you can download 19 real estate prospecting letters that you can start using right away in your own real estate business. So as Debbie just briefly introduced me, I will tell you a little bit about myself. Welcome to my show. This is a show that I do regularly on my own platforms, and it's called the How to Sell 50 Properties in 12 Months Live Sales Mentoring Show, where I shine a light on the best sales tactics, approaches, and systems to generate seller leads, successfully sign up sellable properties, and get those listings sold so that you get paid, my friends, for all your hard work and diligence. So I want to say thank you to Debbie for inviting me to the Real Estate Agents Referral Network and Marketing Tips group. It's so good to be here. I'm so happy to be able to present live to you guys. And do make sure to sign up to Debbie's newsletter so that with the newsletter, she can notify you of any further upcoming live sales mentoring that we'll do in the group for you. So as Debbie said, I'm your host. I'm Gayle Fitzmaurice. I'm the creator of the Get Listings Bootcamp, where I teach you how to go from being a broke agent agent to consistently listing multiple sellable properties each and every month and successfully positioning yourself as the go-to real estate agent for your own marketplace. If you do want to list a minimum of 4 sellable properties in the next 30 days, do click the link that we'll attach to today's live later on in the Facebook group, or feel comfortable to message me direct just to see how easy it is to sign up to my Get Listings Bootcamp. All right, so let's get right into today's show. So what is leveraging direct mail and why does it work? The simple fact is, when a stamped envelope personally addressed to you arrives at your residence, you will open it, right? Not one person will lift a standard envelope from their mailbox, which is stamped, right? An envelope which details their correct name, their residence address, and then literally walk straight to the bin and dump it without first opening the letter to quickly read over the contents to ascertain first if the included documents are of interest to them. And that moment there, that one moment there where they quickly read over the letter contents to ascertain what to do with the letter next, is where you have the property vendors complete and undivided attention. This is the reason why direct mailing is such a potent prospecting tactic and tool for the local real estate agent. The direct mail letter is the one prospecting tool that you will be absolutely guaranteed will get the property vendors undivided attention. And you will also trigger a kind of cognitive thought process from that property vendor as to what to do next with the little letter or piece of paper or card that's in their hand, right? They'll start thinking, should they pop the letter, on the fridge under the trusty, letter holding magnet, right? Or should they add the letter to the to-do pile on the kitchen worktop, right? Or maybe they'll pop the letter in the I'll think about it later pile, in the home study. The point is, they are actually cognitively thinking about what they're going to do with the prospecting content that you've sent them, right? So we as local real estate agents need to focus on this undivided attention the letter gets for that brief moment, right? And the cognitive thought process that takes place for the potential seller to decide what they want to do with the letter, right? Many other prospecting tools, they can struggle to catch the potential seller's attention in the same way, right? Intentional direct mailing hits the mark. Okay, you guys. So usually at this section of the show, I will, and I don't know if I can do it here, I will hop on and I will see who's here. So I can't do it. So I'm going to leave it to Debbie to say hello to anybody who's here. And if there's...
There are about 5 people here with us. It looks like Kimberly Lockett, Lisa Kenner, Tom Stafford, Amanda Bergassa. There are people hopping on and off all the time. So, and there's
Super.
My phone, so I apologize.
No, that's so super. So what I will say is, if you guys have any questions at all, make sure to post the questions or the comments, which you have, and Debbie will shoot them through to me, and we will make sure to go through them together towards the end of the show. Or if the show is running too long for you guys, put the questions in there, and between myself and Debbie, we'll get back to you after the show, but we'll make sure we get your questions answered, okay? Also, guys, please, if you don't mind, like the show. If you feel the content can help another real estate agent in this group, please go ahead and like it, because it helps the algorithm understand that you guys are liking the content, and it will serve it to the other real estate agents. All righty, you guys. So tell me in the comments, right? Have you actually tried this prospecting activity, right? How did you go with it? Did you do it just once off, which happens for some people, or were you consistent with it, right? Consistency is going to be the key, right? So for anybody who is just tuning in, we are talking about how to get at least 20 to 50 genuine seller leads a month using direct mail. This direct mail, this prospecting activity has consistently generated an impressive return in my own business, which is why I have engaged it the longest, right? In this show, I will also share with you an email that I received from Judy Sloan. She's a realtor or real estate agent in Iowa. And she's been in the real estate industry for more than 30 years. And she shared with me in her email that her monthly direct mail prospecting activities generates even more than my 20 to 50 genuine seller leads a month, right? So, you know, it's as I said, it's old school, but it works, right? I am going to direct you through this show between myself and Debbie, where you can download those 19 letters that we put in the group yesterday. They are for you and you can use them straight away in your own real estate business. Okay, so let's keep going with the show. So how can you get this converting prospecting activity to work for you, right? How do we ensure that you do make the maximum impact from the moment the envelope is torn open and the words on the page are consumed, whilst that cognitive thought process, which we just talked about, is fueling up to decide what to do with the letter next, right? Well, first and foremost, right, we make sure that we direct mail the right group of potential sellers in your marketplace. Okay, and we make sure the content on that page is real and relevant to that potential seller's needs. Okay, direct mailing is a powerful tool and it best suits targeted groups within your local marketplace, groups which you may not easily reach through your other prospecting activities, right? Such as your flyer dropping or your door knocking or your local signage, or maybe your local Facebook marketing campaign. So direct mailing is an excellent tool to target the obvious, right? The FSBOs, the expired listings. But what I use it for very powerfully in my business is for landlords, for absentee owners, for builders and developers, right? And I use it specifically for prospecting or a prospecting drive to certain sections or streets or a pocket of my marketplace, right? If I'm going for a specific section of that area that I want business from, okay? So depending on your marketing budget and the cost of stamp or the cost of postage in your region, and Debbie will be the best to help you with that. The best approach for direct mailing when in the midst of growing and building your real estate sales career is to target 1,000 pieces of direct mail sent at least once monthly, right? You'll need upwards to 1,000 prospects to get the results from this prospecting activity, right? Especially from launch. Just direct mailing a couple of hundred letters a month or a couple of hundred pieces of direct mail content in a month generally is, especially if you're in the growth stage of your career, generally is not enough activity to make the impact you require to consistently win. And that's the reason you're doing it, right? You want to consistently win multiple listing opportunities per month, right? And usually what will happen is if you send them out, for example, in December, you will find that you'll get that opportunity in January. So that's what you're looking for. You want to make sure you're getting impact each month, okay? The generally accepted conversion rate for direct mail is between 2% and 5%, right? Which is why you need a minimum of 1,000 prospects from your direct mailing list each month, right? When it's done right, 20 to 50 genuine seller leads per month from this prospecting activity, if it produces that for you, which it will when it's done right, that will make a significant shift within your real estate business, okay? So landlords, absentee owners, and property developers are actually the perfect groups to target with for direct mail for the following reasons, right? Generally, these types of property owners, they tend to own more than one singular property, right? So therefore, they represent a stronger listing opportunity than the average homeowner who only owns a single property and can often be very emotionally attached to that property, right? Landlords and the local property developers are interested in and enjoy the game of property, right? They are interested in the communication from the local real estate agent, right? Generally, landlords and property developers, they tend to live in the areas surrounding the local marketplace that you're doing business in, as opposed to actually in the center of that residential area that you're doing business in, okay? Meaning your other prospecting activities within your own local marketplace could potentially miss these most lucrative and very important prospecting groups for the local real estate agent who's looking to build a strong, financially abundant, right, and successful career in real estate sales. So, and of course, direct mail, it works astoundingly well with FSBOs and expired listings, okay? And when you're running, as I just said, which is I use it very successfully for this, when you're running a specific prospecting drive to a pocket or a section of your marketplace, right? Now that we understand that direct mail gets the undivided attention of the potential seller for a very brief moment, and we have a cognitive process, right, that kicks in, what when they're thinking what they're going to do with the letter next, and we are now understanding that we can use this effective prospecting tool to target lucrative prospecting groups within your local marketplace. What content should the letter actually contain to ensure the direct mail letter actually holds the potential seller's attention, right? And that they take action on it. All right. So again, you guys, if you have any questions or comments, pop them through. Pop them either within Facebook, and Debbie will grab them through and put them through to me in the chat. And again, if we get a chance, we'll go through them towards the end of today's show, or we will message you guys direct. Okay. And as a reminder, please do like the show. If you feel this content will help another real estate agent in this group, please do like it. It helps the algorithm understand to serve the content to the group. Okay. So let's get back to the show. What content should our letter actually contain? So before we take a deep dive into the correct direct mail content, right? I want to call out a very older, and it's quite a common style of direct mailing letter. And that's the I have a buyer for your property letter, right? Now I'm going to tell you this, right? Don't write to the potential seller advising them that you have buyers that will buy their property unless you actually do have. All right. I'm going to tell you why. You'll find in today's world, winning a listing on these false or sort of gray area terms, right, will cause you to spend a lot of time backpedaling, right? It can lead to very unhappy and very high maintenance property vendors, right? 9 times out of 10 in today's world, a savvy property vendor will just say to you, you know what? Go ahead, bring that buyer through, right? And if the buyer wants to buy the property, then I will go ahead and sign the authority for you to be my listing agent, right? This type of prospecting tactic can leave the real estate agent with a whole heap of listings on their books that are not officially signed up, right? Listings which the property vendor's true needs have not been correctly met or even identified, and it will result in the real estate agent running around like a headless chicken, trying to find buyers to meet an unrealistic or a poorly managed property vendor, right? This will become a very draining sales process for the local real estate agent, right? And it's completely non-effective in building a long-term, financially abundant and rewarding career in real estate sales, which is what we want, right? So back in the day, selling focused heavily around the hook and persuasion tactic, right? This is where you hooked the prospect's attention and then you work to persuade them once you have their interest, right? And that's kind of what we are doing with the, you know what, I've got a buyer for your property, even if we don't really have one, right? So albeit this is a very proven tactic, the hook and persuasion. It's a very proven tactic, it's a long-term proven tactic for sales, right? It has become outdated in certain forms, right? And one of those being in the process of pursuing a listing opportunity from property vendors, especially ones such like local landlords and local property developers and FSBOs and expired listings, right? So what I'd like you to do before I move on to what you should put in your letters is I want you to understand why this older hook and persuasion tactic is not as effective as it used to be, right? It's simply because people in today's world are far more educated, right? They are far more informed and basically everything due to the ease of access of information, right? They are also busier than ever, okay? And you know what? Nobody really likes to be sold to, right? And due to the age of the hook and persuasion sales tactic, right, in the sales world. And it's used across all social channels. The average person is pretty aware of the tactic, which does kind of make it redundant for a salesperson, and it can become a little, basically a bit of an irritant, right? Especially if it's used with an ill-fitting prospecting group. Alrighty. To effectively prospect, right? And that's what we want to know. We want to know how to do this, right? So to effectively prospect to lucrative target groups within your marketplace, such as landlords, absentee owners, the local property developers, the FSBOs, the expired listings, right? It is best to engage a more modern sales language, right? And that is the language of providing succinct, relevant, transparent, and authentic information and conversation in conjunction with leveraging the power of social proof, right? So what does succinct, relevant, transparent, authentic information and conversation in conjunction with leveraging the power of social proof actually look and read like in the format of a direct mail letter to your prospecting groups within your marketplace? All right. Well, here's the thing, right? A person who owns a luxury property is going to want a whole different style of letter than a person who is selling a property for financial hardship reasons, right? Or a person who is selling maybe due to a divorce in the family, right? An expired listing letter will be totally different than a FSBO letter, okay? Or a letter to a very emotional home seller, right? You will also want some kind of generic letters that you can maybe print out as flyers and send to everybody in your suburb or your marketplace. Or you'll want letters which have very specific notes for those potential sellers that you've already had some sort of connection with or some sort of prospecting activity with, okay? You may even want a letter to connect with other business owners, right, in your area. So as you're probably working out, you will need to create many different types of letters during your real estate prospecting, and you'll probably need kind of a stock of around 15 or more templates, right? So that's why I've put together for you the whole free training that goes along with those 19 templates of excellent real estate prospecting letters, right? Which you can start using straight away in your own business. They are 100% free. The entire training is 100% free, but if the training will also show you who to send the letters to and when to send them, okay? And when we're finished up here, Debbie is going to add the link for you guys to go ahead and take that mini course and download those 19 prospecting letters so that you can use them straight away in your own business to start converting real seller leads into successfully signed up sellable properties, all right? So here's the thing, right? I want to give you the trick, right? The trick to getting your direct mail to work is to stay relevant and consistent, right? Remember at the beginning of today's show, I mentioned an agent. Her name, as I said a couple of times, is Judy Sloan. She's based in Iowa. So I had sent out a newsletter to my database, and the newsletter was all around how to use direct mail. So she had replied to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you her response. So it's going to look like I'm really reading this now, but I want to read you her response because it's pretty powerful for those that are especially in a growth stage of their career. Okay. So guys, just to mention that if you are popping comments in, I can't see them, but Debbie will grab them. And if we have some time, we will run through them towards the end of today's show. All right. And again, if you know what, sorry, I just want to say this. Team, if you're coming across any particularly difficult sales hurdle in your own career, and it's really frustrating your day-to-day sales experience, and you would like me to cover the action steps as to how to get across that particular sales hurdle in one of these live shows here, just make sure to pop a note through to Debbie or in the comments, and we'll definitely put together a show for you guys on that, because that's what this is all about, getting you guys successful within your real estate career. Okay, so back to Judy's email, right? So again, I'm just going to read this, you guys. So she says, "Hi, Gayle. Okay, sorry, my English is a bit funny. Okay, so hi, Gayle. I mail to my farm. So she says here her farm area and her past clients. And my ratio is way higher than that. So I'm saying, because I've been doing direct mailing for well over a decade, and I consistently do get that 20 to 50 genuine seller leads. And I have a lot of repetition in my direct mailing. So she's saying she's getting even more than that. So even more than 20 to 50 genuine seller leads a month. That's, it's pretty high. Okay. She says here, I have clients who have saved my current mailings from 30 years ago. I am named in their wills as their realtor to call to sell their property when they do pass. Now, this whole show, I've said this one thing to you about being relevant, right? Now, this lady, she's in the business, almost twice as long as me. And she writes here, the secret is to be relevant. I just send, so this is what she sends, and this is what you guys can think about it. The letters I've given you are prospecting letters, but listen to what she sends as well. So she does her letters, but she also sends the just sold postcards. And she sends the football and basketball. So the men and women who are interested in football and basketball, the schedules of all the 3 universities in her state. And she says she gets consistent thank yous every year when they are received. Okay. She says she sends anniversary cards on the anniversary date of when they closed their property that they bought from her. And then she notes, like everything, knowing what to send and being consistent are the key factors. And of course, she notes here, having a good relationship in the transaction is a must. Okay. And then she notes, I just thought I would present a different perspective. So I just think that's great to add that in there. From my perspective, I'm teaching about how to do it, but just to get that, teaching from my own experience, but just to get that, other comments from other real estate agents who are using this traditional style of prospecting and the business that they get from it, because it just constantly brings business, right? So consistency always wins the business, my friends, okay? And it brings in the money, right? So remember, when it comes to direct mail letters, you do not need to reinvent the wheel, right? You just need to be consistent, all right? Now, don't forget, Debbie, I'm going to wrap this up right now. I'm just going to check in with Debbie, but she's going to add in for you guys the link where you'll get a training like this, but you'll also get another 40-minute training on exactly how to use direct mailing and why you're using it and what you need to do to get it to work for you. Plus, you'll get those 19 letters, which you can start using absolutely straight away. Okay. So thanks, team, for hanging out with me today and letting me do this live in your show. Again, like it. If you like this show, like it in the group, because it'll serve it to more people. And don't forget to subscribe to Debbie's newsletter, so she'll update you of any further live shows that we've got coming up. Okay, you guys, I'm going to check in with Debbie. I can't see her just at the moment, so hang on a moment till I find her again.
Hi, Gayle. Yeah, we are here.
Okay, cool.
People were just asking if this content was going to be live in the group or stay in the group, and it will. We went live in the group, so people will be able to see it. And yeah, so I think most of you guys in the group know that I work with a company for direct mail marketing. And I just want to say that there is a Black Friday promotion that ends the end of today at midnight tonight. And I will also put a link to that in the comments. The link to the boot camp that you were talking about is at the top of the post. So anyone can click on that. It's already there. But I'll also put a link in for the Black Friday promo, and it will be super easy to upload Gayle's letters into the system and have us do all the mailing, all the fulfillment for you, so that you don't have to do that yourself.
Awesome service. It's such an awesome service because it's about the consistency, right? That's the thing. It's a repetition, and consistency will bring you the business. It'll bring you the business. It'll bring you the money. So having a system like yours to do it, like whopper.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Gayle, for going live in the group today and sharing your experience. And I don't know about everyone else, but I just love listening to Gayle because of her accent. I mean, I think it's amazing. We didn't tell you she's originally from Ireland, but has also spent a lot of time in Australia, so she kind of has one of those
13 years. Yeah, funny accent.
love listening to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me live in the show. But I hope everybody enjoyed the content. You're gonna have to. I'm the host. Am I gonna have to end this? Is that my job?
I don't know. Let's see here. I'm gonna stop the recording.